wins stage one here in the showground in Norfolk. What a finish.
And Russell Downing there in third place for Enduro Racing. A good ride by him.
And they're still sorting themselves out after that crash as we look here at Ivan Basso coming in. So one of the big race favourites has lost a lot of time, but as the crash occurred in the concluding 3 kilometres, he will be awarded the same time as the group he was in when he went down.
Yeah, and a lot of the riders there missing out here. Mark Cavendish too, he will also receive the same time as the leaders, but that won't count for much. He would have wanted this sprint along with Tyler Farrar there next to him. And here we can see a replay of the action. It's very difficult to see what happens. I don't know if someone dive-bombed Cavendish or if he lost his wheel on the gravel there on the side of the road, but a big fall, but he looks okay.
So two of the big sprinters limping their way to the finish. Mark Cavendish on the right and on the left Tyler Farrar. And these were possibly two of the riders we would have expected going head-to-head for the victory here in the finish in Norfolk.
Yeah, both those guys had their teams riding on the front, so big disappointment for both of them.
But what a day here then for Luke Rowe, the biggest win of his career, and he was only brought in the race at the last minute to replace Logfist. He wins stage one. What a sprint finish.
A well-timed sprint from Luke Rowe, taking the initiative with around 150 metres to the line and storming past Boy Van Poppel to take the win for Team Sky. Confirmation then of today's result. Luke Rowe taking the sprint from United Healthcare Pro Cycling's Boy Van Poppel, with another British rider making it into the top 3 in the shape of Enduro Racing's Russell Downing.
We had the lead out perfectly sorted for Cav. I was going to be the last lead out man for Cav, and yeah, just proves that bike racing's so unpredictable, and the way it turned out, I just shouted to Brad, it's for me, and he just went full gas and yeah, outfoxed the other guy, and you know, hands in the air.
There was something of a festival atmosphere at the showground for the podium, with a huge cheer for Luke Rowe, the stage winner. And there was reward for the riders in the breakaway, with Ronnie Martius receiving the Yoda Sprints jersey. And Christian House's aggressive ride saw him take the Skoda King of the Mountains jersey.
Maybe a bunch sprint, and you know, I thought maybe I'd save my legs for another day, but just the way it worked out, I just followed a move early on, and that was it, 4-man break from the gun. So once I got into the move, I think yeah, I kind of looked towards the sprints to maybe get a bit of time, and you know, the first mountain came fairly easy for me, so I just decided to go for it then.
And then a further 2 visits to the podium for Luke Rowe. First, to collect the Chain Reaction Cycles points jersey. And then, as winner of the opening stage, the Welshman returned for the IG Markets gold jersey as leader of the general classification. And this is how the GC looks after the opening stage. Luke Rowe obviously leads the race and received a 10-second time bonus on the line. That means he has a 3-second advantage over Ronnie Martius, who took 7 seconds in time bonuses thanks to his performance in the intermediate sprints. Martius is a second ahead of Boy Van Poppel. 31 riders are 10 seconds back, including John Tiernan-Locke in 9th place and Bradley Wiggins, who is 24th after also hitting the deck in the closing stages. Well, the crowd stood here in their thousands in the blazing sunshine, hoping to see a British winner, and they weren't disappointed. It might not be the one that they perhaps had expected, but Luke Rowe rode a very canny finish.
Yeah, extremely classy ride by Luke today for such a young guy. Obviously, he's surrounded by so much talent. That must be so inspirational for him. But yeah, it was really gritty finale. Lots of crashes, and for him to pick his way through and take out the win when he certainly wasn't the favourite to do it is absolutely spectacular and wonderful.
And the composure for him to say to Bradley Wiggins, this one's for me, and to go for it.
It does. That shows a hell of a lot of confidence. Definitely a guy for the future, and I think this is the first of you know, many great successes for him. But it'll be interesting to see how long he stays in the jersey with all the climbs coming up.
Mark Cavendish looked a bit bruised and battered when he came over the line. But the one thing we know about Cav is if he's been knocked down, he does get right back up again. Yeah,
Mark is a fighter. You know, he's so tenacious. Look back to the Giro d'Italia, had a really nasty couple of offs, came back and won a stage with his little child there. So don't write Mark off just yet, and I'm sure he'll pick off a stage.
Pretty much went to script today, didn't it? Bit of a break and then all back together for a sprint finish, even if it wasn't perhaps the sprint finish we expected.
Yeah, as I say, sometimes stages like this can revert to type almost. You get the early breakaway, the big teams like Garmin and Sky were riding that move, never let it get to more than 5 or 6 minutes, held it about 3 minutes, pulled it back classically with about 15-20k to go. But then because of the nature of the course, there was a number of bottlenecks, and I know that the riders went over a small bridge, and that caused a crash. And then later on, people just take risks. That's professional bike racing.
It is indeed. And of course, the race continues tomorrow, heading from Nottingham to Knowsley Safari Park. So we'll have highlights on ITV4 from 7 o'clock, where I'll be handing the baton on to Ned Boulting. Hope you can join us then.